Part 1, Gabriel. The farmer is dead, he is dead, and all anyone wants to know is who killed him. Was it an accident or was it murder? It looks like murder, they say, with that gunshot wound to the heart, so precise it must have been intended. They are waiting for me to speak, two pairs of eyes relentless in their stares. But how can I tell them what he wants me to say? The words we have practiced over and over in the minutes before the police arrive. I shake my head. I need more time. It's true what they say. You can live a whole lifetime in a final moment. We are that boy and girl again, with all of it ahead, a glory stretch of light and wondrous beauty of nights beneath the stars. He is waiting for me to look at him, and when I do, he smiles to show me he is fine, the briefest nod of his head. Say it, Beth. Say it now. I look at his face again, beautiful to me then and now and always. One final glance between us before everything changes. 1968, Hempston, North Dorset. Gabriel Wolfe is back living in Meadowlands, Frank says, the name exploding at me over breakfast. Divorced now, just him and his boy rattling around in that huge place. Oh, it seems to be the only word I have. That's what I thought, Frank says. He gets up from his side of the table and walks around to mine, takes my face in his hands, kisses me. We won't let that pillock cause us any grief. We'll have nothing to do with him. Who told you? It was the talk of the pub last night. Took two huge, great lorries to bring all their stuff from London, apparently. Gabriel hated it here. Why would he come back? His name feels strange on my tongue, the first time I've spoken it aloud in years. There's no one else to look after the place. His father long gone, his mother on the other side of the world. Up to her neck in dingo shit, with any luck. Frank always manages to make me laugh. What's here for him anyway? Frank says casually, but I see it, the unsaid thought that flits across his mind. Aside from you, he's bound to sell up and move to Las Vegas or Monte Carlo or wherever it is these. He grapples for the word, looks pleased with himself when he finds it. Celebrities hang out. Frank spends all the daylight hours and a fair few at nighttime out on the farm, caring for our animals and tending the land. He works harder than anyone I know, but always takes time to notice the beauty of a spring sunset or the sudden, dizzying soar of a skylark. His attunement to weather and wildlife set deep in his bones. One of many things I love about him. Frank doesn't have time to read novels or go to the theatre. He wouldn't know a dry martini if someone chucked one in his face. He's the very antithesis of Gabriel Wolfe, or at least the one we read about in the papers. I watch my husband leaning against the door to pull on his boots. In 20 minutes' time, his skin will be permeated 3 layers deep with the stench of cow dung. The door, wrapped hard from the other side, makes Frank start. Bloody hell, he says, yanking it open so quickly his brother falls into the room. Our mornings invariably start this way. Jimmy, still ruddy from last night's beer, eyes screwed half shut, one strand of hair sticking straight up as if it's gelled, says, "Aspirin, Beth?" Got a banger. I take down the medicine box from the dresser, where it lives primarily in use for Jimmy's hangovers. Once upon a time, it was full of infant paracetamol and emergency plasters. There are 5 years between them, but Frank and Jimmy look so similar that, from a distance, even I struggle to tell them apart. They are well over 6 foot, with dark, almost black hair, and eyes so blue, people often do a double take. Their mother's eyes, I'm told, though I never had the chance to meet her. They are both wearing shabby corduroys and thick shirts, soon to be covered in the navy overalls that are their daily uniform. In the village, they are sometimes called the twins, but only in jest. Frank is very much the older brother. "What happened to just going to finish this pint and call it a night?" Frank says, grinning at Jimmy. "Beer is God's reward for an honest day's toil." That from the Bible? If it isn't, it should be. "We'll be with the lambs at midday. See you then?" Frank calls to me as the brothers go out of the door, still laughing as they cross the yard. With the men out milking and the kitchen cleared, there are plenty of jobs to get on with. Washing, so much of it, both brothers' overalls rinsed and waiting for me on the scrubbing board. The breakfast washing up, a floor that always needs sweeping, no matter how often I take the broom to it. Instead, I make a fresh pot of coffee and put on an old waxed jacket of Frank's and sit at the little wrought iron table looking out across our fields until my gaze meets its target. 3 red chimneys of differing heights peering above the fuzz of green oak on the horizon. Dash meadowlands. Before 1955, I don't know I am trespassing. I am lost in a dream world, my head full of romantic scenarios in which I triumph. I picture myself beside a fountain with an orchestra in full flow, receiving an impassioned declaration of love. I read a lot of Austen and Bronte at this time. I have a tendency to embellish. I must have been staring up at the sky, head in the clouds quite literally. The collision comes out of nowhere. What the hell? This boy I bump into, his shoulder bashing into mine, is no hero. Tall, slender, arrogant, like a teenage mister. Darcy. "Don't you look?" he says. "This is private land." I find the whole private land thing slightly absurd, particularly when it's accompanied by a curt, cut-glass accent like this one. This meadow we are in, green and curving, oaks with their cloud bloom flowering, is England in its full glory. It's Keats, it's Wordsworth. It should be for everyone to enjoy. Are you smiling? He looks so annoyed, I almost laugh. We're in the middle of nowhere. There is no one else here. How could it possibly matter? The boy stares back at me for a moment before he takes in what I have said. You're right. God, what is wrong with me? He holds out his hand, a peace offering. Gabriel Wolfe. I know who you are. He looks at me expectantly, waiting for my name, but I don't feel like telling him yet. I've heard talk of Gabriel Wolfe, the famously handsome boy from the big house, but this is the first time I've seen him in the flesh. He has a good face, dark eyes framed by eyelashes my girlfriends would kill for, wavy brown hair that flops across his forehead, sharp cheekbones, elegant nose. A patrician kind of beauty, I suppose you might call it, but he is wearing tweed trousers tucked into woolly socks. Draped across his shoulders like a cape is a jacket of matching tweed, belt dangling. Old man's clothes. He's not my type at all. What were you doing here? Looking for a place to sit and read. I draw my book out of my coat pocket, a slim volume of Emily Dickinson. Oh, poetry. You sound a little disappointed. P.G. Wodehouse more your thing? He sighs. I know what you're thinking, but you're wrong. I'm smiling again. I can't help it. What are you, a mind reader? You think I'm a brainless, upper-class twit, a Bertie Wooster. I tilt my head and consider him. He'd love your get-up, you have to admit. He'd say it was spiffing. When Gabriel laughs, it changes him completely. These are my father's old fishing trousers. I nicked them out of a box of stuff going to the jumble sale. I wouldn't have worn them if I'd known you'd take such offense. Is that what you're doing? Fishing? Yes, just down there. I'll show you if you like. I thought it was out of bounds for plebs like me. You see, that's why you have to come. I've been rude, and I'd like to make it up to you. I stand before him, unsure. I don't want to get caught up in something that is hard to get out of. All I wanted was a pretty spot to sit and read. He smiles again, that face-changing smile, handsome even in his old man's garb. I've got biscuits. Please come. What kind of biscuits? Gabriel hesitates. Custard creams. Dash fountain, orchestra, lake, biscuits. It's not so much of a stretch. Well, in that case, I say, and this is how it begins. 1968. Of all the seasons, early spring, when the air is sly with cold and the birds are starting up and the fields are filled with lambs, has always been my favourite. Bobby was mad for our lambs. He fed the waifs year after year with a bottle. That was his job. He wouldn't let anyone else touch it, even stayed off school to do it one time. A spirited boy, he wore shorts right the way through winter and no coat, even when the headmistress sent him home for one. A golden boy, he sang so much when he was little we called him Elvis. He was tall and skinny with brown hair that stuck up just like his uncle's. Jimmy has the transistor radio playing. I can hear it well before I reach the tin barn. It's the Beatles. Hello, goodbye. at full volume. Not very pastoral, but it's clearly working for Jimmy's hangover. I watch him as I come in through the gate at the top of the field. He has one hand resting on a ew's backside, hips swaying from side to side, left foot jiggling. "Where's Frank?" I say, and Jimmy points to the bottom of the field. Together, we stand and watch as my husband vaults the fence. One strong arm placed on the top rail, his body swung out at a right angle before he clears it like an Olympian hurdler. I see him doing it most days, but it still gives me a small rush of pleasure. The simple joy of it in a man whose life is dominated by hard work. He walks up the field toward us, swinging his arms energetically. Even from here, I know he is probably whistling. This is Frank where he most loves to be. Most of our ewes have delivered. We have 46 lambs out to pasture with a handful still in the stalls. Only one bottle feeder and one stillborn. Frank and Jimmy look over the pregnant sheep, palms against their bellies to check for a breech, examining their rears for signs of birth. It's more instinct than anything. They could do it in their sleep. Jimmy is the soft touch. He chats to the ewes while he works, gives them rich tea biscuits when he's done. Frank is always in a rush. In his head, an unending checklist of tasks, a brain that holds too much. "Think we could wrap up the mothers' meeting and crack on?" Frank says, and Jimmy rolls his eyes. "Bossy so-and-so, isn't he?" he tells the ewes. The sheep have a long, sloping field to themselves, but they don't spread out much, always clustered up here, next to the barn. In a week or so, the lambs will become more independent, and that's when they start frisking off in one direction or another, spindly legs buckling. The stage Bobby loved the most. He was a farm boy. He understood how it worked, but every single year it broke his heart when it was time to ship his babies off to market. I don't know which of us hears the barking first. We spin around to a golden-haired lurcher tearing toward us. A stray dog, no owners with him, charging our lambs. Get out of it. Frank tries to block the lurcher. He is 6'2", broad and fierce, but the dog just darts around him, straight into the thick of our ewes. The sheep are moaning, tiny offspring bleating in fear. Only a few days old, but they sense the danger. A flick switch change in the dog. Eyes black, teeth bared, body rigid with adrenaline. "Gun, Jimmy!" "Now!" Frank yells, and Jimmy turns and runs to the shed. He's fast, Frank, racing at the dog with his primeval roar, but the dog is quicker. It picks off a lamb, nips it up by its neck, throat ripped open. The appalling red of its blood, a jet of crimson pools on the grass. One lamb, two lambs, then three. Guts spilling out like sacrificial entrails. The ewes are scattering everywhere now, stumbling out, terror-blind, their newborns exposed. I'm running at the dog, shrieking, trying to gather up the lambs, but I hear Jimmy yelling, "Out of the way, Beth! Move!" And then Frank has grabbed me into his arms so tightly, I'm pressed right into his chest, and I can feel the thundering of his heart. I hear the gunshot and then another, and the dog's quick, indignant howl of pain. It's over. "Bloody hell," Frank says, pulling back, checking my face. A palm pressed against my cheek. We walk over to the dog, the three of us cooing and calling out to the sheep, "Come on, girls." But they are shivering and bleeding and giving the three infant corpses a wide berth. Out of nowhere, like a mirage, a boy comes running up the field, small and skinny in shorts, maybe 10 years old. "My dog!" he screams, his voice so sweet and high. "Fuck," Jimmy says, just as the child sees the bloody heap of fur and yelps. "You killed my dog!" His father is here now, panting and flushed, but scarcely different from the boy I knew. "Oh, Jesus Christ, you shot him." "Had to." Frank gestures at the butchered lambs. I don't think Gabriel has any idea who Frank is, or at least who he is married to, but then he turns and catches sight of me. Momentarily, panic flits across his face before he recovers himself. "Beth," he says, but I ignore him. No one is looking after the child. He is standing by his dog, hands covering his eyes as if to black out the horror. Dash, dash. Here, I'm beside him in seconds, my hands on his shoulders. And then I kneel in front of him and wrap my arms around him. He begins to weep. "Keep crying," I say. "Crying will help." He collapses against me, wailing now, a boy in shorts in my arms. And this is how it begins again. The Trial, Old Bailey, London, 1969. Nothing could prepare me for the agony of watching the man I love sitting high up in the dock, flanked by 2 prison officers, as he awaits his verdict. A man accused of an unthinkable crime. He never glances up at the gallery to search for my face, and he doesn't look at the jury either. Doesn't observe them as I do, examining each one, panic pounding through me as I ask myself, will this tired-looking, grey-haired woman believe in his innocence? Will this middle-aged man in his banker's garb of pinstripe suit, blue shirt with a white collar and cuffs, be the one to vote against him? The young man with shoulder-length hair, who looks kinder than the rest, might he be our ally? Mostly they are inscrutable, the 7 men and 5 women who hold his fate in their hands. My sister says it's good there are plenty of women. They are more compassionate, she says, as a rule. It feels like clutching at straws, but a part of me hopes the female jurors might understand the derailing passion that made us risk everything. After months of our talking about it, the trial has begun. Everything about this courtroom seems to emphasize the severity of our situation, the high ceiling and wood-paneled walls. The judge, resplendent in red on his high-back chair, like a king on his throne as he surveys his court. Beneath him, the barristers in wigs and black gowns, looking through papers as they wait for proceedings to begin. And the court clerk, quietly pompous as he stands before the dock and makes his chilling proclamation, "You are charged with the murder." The press bench is filled with journalists in tweed jackets and ties, not a single woman among them. And then there is the gallery, where I sit with Eleanor, along with all the rubberneckers. Not so long ago I shared their thirst for human drama. How avidly I followed the Profumo scandal and the subsequent trial of Stephen Ward. I remember, as if it were yesterday, the photos of Christine Keeler and Mandy Rice Davies leaving court. How stylish they looked. How the press still managed to denigrate and cheapen them. It's very different when the prisoner in the dock is the person you love. Look up, please, my love. I try to engage him telepathically, the way we always used to, but he stares ahead with his strange blank eyes. The only giveaway of the distress I know he is feeling, felt in every waking moment since, is the angry clench of his jaw. To an outsider, perhaps, he looks hostile, but I know better. It's the only way he can stop himself from crying. Before, if I were to paint a picture of a classic English lake, it would look just like the one at Meadowlands. The surface is covered with clusters of water lilies, the flowers a fist of white and pink with bold yellow hearts. At the far end, a pair of willow trees stretch out across the water, and 3 white swans are gliding toward us in a uniform line, as if the gaps between them have been measured with a ruler. Gabriel has set himself up with a rug, a picnic hamper, and a folding canvas chair, a pair of fishing rods propped up against it. He gestures to the chair, "Be my guest." But I choose to sit next to him on the rug instead. From the hamper he produces a tartan thermos of tea and a packet of Garibaldi biscuits. I raise my eyebrows and he grins. "I thought you might not come if I told you it was squashed fly biscuits." I watch him pour tea into a white tin mug with a navy rim. He has beautiful hands, with long, elegant fingers. He adds milk and sugar without asking and hands it to me. On the far side of the lake, near to the willows, there's an ancient-looking khaki tent, the kind you see in safari films. I can imagine Grace Kelly sitting outside it, sipping a gin and tonic, a neat shirt tucked into her fawn-coloured breeches. "What's the tent for?" "I camp here in summer. Wake up and swim every morning. Fry bacon and eggs on a little stove. It seems odd to me, a boy who lives in a house the size of Meadowlands, choosing to rough it instead under canvas. Like everyone else in the village, I've been to Meadowlands for the annual summer fete. I've eaten wedges of Victoria sandwich in the tea tent, hooked myself up to my sister for the 3-legged race, come last but one in the egg and spoon. I've seen Gabriel's mother, Tessa, dressed like a fashion model in head-to-toe black, her neatly tailored suit more fitting for Paris than Hempstead, a wide-brimmed hat, huge sunglasses, scarlet lips, her only hint of colour. Compared to all the other mothers in their plain print dresses and sandals, she always seemed exotic and untouchable. I can picture his father, Edward, besuited, bespectacled, and much older, gamely lobbing balls at the coconut shy. What I can't remember is Gabriel. Why have I never seen you at the village fete? I've always been away at school. Not anymore though. I sat my last exam 2 weeks ago. 3 months at home before I go to university. Not sure how I'll stand it. I gesture to our view. The glittering water and overhanging trees, their fronds reflected in a mirror image of feathery gold, the irregular stipple of white and pink. How hard can it be? He glances at me, then shrugs. It's not a sob story, if that's what you mean. I know how lucky I am, but I've been at boarding school most of my life. I don't know anyone my age here. I suppose what I'm saying is, I don't much like being at home. What about your parents? Don't you get on with them? He swivels his hand in a so-so gesture. My father is quiet, scholarly, spends most of his time shut up in his study reading. I don't quite know how he ended up with my mother. A moment of madness, I think. They could not be more different. He doesn't ask me anything. She never leaves me alone. She wants to know every detail of my life, who my friends are, which parties I've been invited to, whether or not I have a girlfriend. Especially that. She has a weird fascination with my love life, and she can be difficult, especially when she drinks, which is most of the time. I met Gabriel 15 minutes ago, perhaps less, but already I can tune into the words he doesn't say. I can picture him aged 10 or 12, sitting beside a tall, exquisitely dressed Christmas tree, surrounded by presents, but craving something else. Teasing and chaos and banter. When I begin to talk about my own family, I catch the wistfulness on Gabriel's face. I tell him about my sister, who is about to finish her first year as a secretary for a solicitor's firm in London. Her days may be spent taking minutes for short-tempered men, but at night, she explores London in all its post-war glory. She writes to me of jazz clubs in Soho and after-hours drinking dens, wandering at dawn through the flower market at Covent Garden, waking hours later to a bedroom strewn with red roses. To a country girl, the life my sister is leading seems one of unparalleled colour and richness. I cannot wait to join her. I tell Gabriel we have spent most of our adolescence leaning out of Eleanor's bedroom window, sharing cigarettes filched from our father's packet of Benson Hedges, spinning daydreams for one another. What do teenage girls dream about? James Dean? Marlon Brando? Bit more highbrow than that, I say, immediately defensive. But Gabriel is right. We spoke of boys and love mostly. And he looks up as if he's examining the thin trail of cloud above us. Were there any ordinary mortals in these dreams of yours? I suppose I'm asking if there's someone in particular you care about? Actually, there is, though I'm not about to tell Gabriel that. There's very little to tell. A boy who takes the same bus to school and always smiles at me. A boy who is tall and broad and handsome, who looks too big for his uniform, as if one day he might burst out of it. His skin is always sunburned from weekends working on the family farm. He has let it be known in time-honoured fashion, from his friends to mine, he would like to take me out one day. I have filtered back that if he asked me, I would be likely to say yes. It seems simplest to evade the question. Mostly we'd make up futures for each other. The dreams I spun for Eleanor were always more elaborate than the ones she made up for me. Eleanor gets bored easily, and I could get so lost in the detail. Hours of conversations, wrong turns leading to right ones. I'd always make her wait for her happy ending. You're a storyteller then. You'll become a writer, I bet. I write poetry. I never tell anyone about the poems I write, probably because I suspect they are bad. I can't stop writing them though, filling notebooks with lines of verse, half phrases and pleasing word pairings when I should be crafting an essay on the Russian Revolution. He taps the Emily Dickinson on the rug between us. A poet, he says. I had a feeling you might be. A bad poet? Maybe even a terrible one. Don't say that. You have to fool yourself into thinking you already are the thing you want to become. That's what my father says. You write, therefore you're a writer. There's a moment's silence, and then he says, I write too, and I recognize the sheepishness with which he says it. We smile, perhaps both thinking the same thing. Two would-be writers, two dreamers, two lonely teenagers waiting for their lives to begin. Who would have thought we'd have so much in common? What kind of things? A novel I've started over and over. It always collapses at the same point. About 70 pages in, what's it about? I'm embarrassed to tell you. Does it by any chance feature a boy from a big house with questionable taste in clothes? Gabriel looks crestfallen and I'm filled with sudden self-loathing. Why am I behaving like this? I don't know him well enough, and my humor is clearly misjudged. I'm sorry. I'm teasing you, but I shouldn't. I know better than anyone how painful this whole thing is. You're right about the autobiography aspect. The main character is a drunk, a beautiful woman, unhappily married to a much older man. The only thing I want in life is to write novels. I used to want to be Graham Greene, but then I read Lucky Jim by Kingsley Amis, and it changed everything for me. It's such a funny book, but daring too. And that's the kind of novelist I'd like to be. Taking risks, surprising people. A bestseller before I am 30 if I'm lucky. There, I've told you my innermost secret. You can laugh at me now. I don't want to laugh at you, I burst out. I want to take back every mean thing I've said. Can we start again? This time it's me who holds out a hand for him to shake. You're a strange girl, Beth Kennedy, he says, taking my hand. Good strange or bad strange? Good strange, definitely. My kind of strange. I have a sixth sense for these things. The light is beginning to drift from the sky by the time I get up to leave. We have been talking for several hours. I'll walk you to the road, Gabriel says, escorting me off your land. More eking out the last minutes with you. I feel a rush of pleasure at this, not that I show it. When will you come again? I like that for him. It's a foregone conclusion we will see each other again. At the weekend? Come on Friday evening. The lake is magical at night. There's a frisson of awkwardness when we say goodbye, as if we should shake hands or kiss or something, but we do neither. Goodbye then, I say. The tweed is going straight in the dustbin, he calls after me. Good, I shout back. At the bend in the road, I turn around to wave and I can sense his eyes following me until I disappear from view. 1968. In all the fantasies over the years of meeting Gabriel Woolf again, driving his child and his dead dog home was never one of them. Leo is sitting in the back of the Land Rover, the dog wrapped in an old coat of Frank's. His weeping cuts me to the bone. Gabriel occasionally tries to bridge the impossible task of placating us both and excusing the dog. It was instinct, he tells his son. Lurchers were bred to hunt and kill. The farmer did the only thing he could. He had to stop him. He murdered Rocket, Leo says. Oh, honey, Gabriel says, with a slight twang that makes me think of his American wife. He had to protect his lambs. Gabriel says this without much conviction, and I understand. How can a layperson appreciate the true cost to a farmer in losing his sheep? It's not the money, although we rely on the sale of each lamb to keep us going through the winter months. It's the heartbreak of seeing your animals destroyed. The absolute terror of the flock as they watch their own being slaughtered. 5 months of nurturing the pregnant ewe, the joy of its lamb being born, which doesn't diminish no matter how many times you see it, only for the lamb to be lost to a savage, bloody death. Even so, the boy's pain is hard to bear. I'm sorry, I say. Beth, I glance at Gabriel. He has not lost any of his handsomeness with age. This is not your fault. It's surreal seeing him like this, a normal person, a father dealing with a bereft son, instead of the alter ego I have become used to seeing in newspapers and magazines. Gabriel Woolf, enfant terrible of the literary world. In the years since I knew him, Gabriel has become the thing he desired more than anything else, a respected author. His first novel, published when he was just 24, was a bestseller. His dream had come true in the space of 6 years. A combination of his edgy writing and indisputable good looks kept the press attention rolling in. If publishing had rock stars, then Gabriel was Mick Jagger, and his pretty blonde wife was Marianne Faithfull, and our lives, his and mine, became polar opposites. I was now a farmer's wife, my days filled with bitterly cold mornings, the magic of a lamb being born at sunrise. I wouldn't have changed a second of it. We turn into the gates of Meadowlands. Gabriel's childhood home is still one of the most beautiful houses I've ever seen. It has the feeling of a chateau on a small scale with that lovely yellowy stone. Steps ascending to a huge oak door. Arched windows, their frames painted pale blue. I always loved the blue windows. I'm glad they haven't changed them. Gabriel gets out of the Land Rover and carries his bundle of dog toward the house, his boy following. "I'll leave you to it then," I call after them. Gabriel turns, looking perplexed. "I don't know what to do with the dog. You should bury him. I am thinking of Bobby, my sensitive boy, how we buried every bird, every rabbit, 100 little funerals." "Where?" "Not exactly a shortage of space, is there?" I say, and he gives me that sideways glance of old. How quickly we have slipped into our personas from the past. He, the landowner's son, me, the acerbic dissident. But we are not who we once were. He is a father, and I was a mother. Our identities as merged as they once were separated. You can never change back once you've had a child, even if that child no longer exists. Leo says, "I have an idea where. Would you come with us, Beth?" He asks so politely, considering we have just murdered his dog, and looks straight at me with his wide brown eyes. Bobby's eyes were brown too. I used to say they were the colour of freshly churned mud. He always laughed at that. "Come on then, let's find a nice spot." We cross the perfect green lawn past a treehouse that is new since my day. Gabriel must have installed it for Leo. I think how much my son would have loved it. A boy who was happy enough sliding down a stack of hay bales or riding on a tractor with his dad, who was never spoiled with toys, but understood every single day, the way Frank does, the glory of our farm. "Where are we going?" I ask, and Leo replies, "The lake." Gabriel looks over at me and smiles, but it's a regretful sort of smile, as if the ache of memories are the same for him. I cannot allow myself to think of it. When my relationship ended with Gabriel all those years ago, I was devastated for a while, and then I did what every self-respecting woman would do. I shut the door on it, on him. I taught myself to think of Gabriel as someone who belonged to my teenage years. A first crush, little more to me than my brief fixation with the singer Johnny Ray. Seeing Gabriel again, like this, in the place where we once meant so much to each other, could shake me to my core if I let it. Father and son choose a spot beneath one of the willow trees. "If you fetch some spades, I'll help you dig," I say. While Gabriel is gone, Leo and I stand together, looking out at the lake. Leo is no longer crying, but he stares out at the water morosely. I wonder if he feels awkward being left alone with me, a stranger. "Do you think you're going to like living here?" "I doubt it. I miss my friends. And I don't like the kids in my class. They're mean." "Who is your teacher?" "Mrs. Adams. She's nice, isn't she?" "I guess," he says, sounding American. His accent is in and out. Certain words sound American, but mostly he's more English. "How do you know her?" "My son used to go to your school. I've had 2 years to practice, but it never gets any easier. Waiting for the next question." "How old is he?" "He died 2 years ago. He was 9, almost the same age as me." Leo takes my words at face value, the way only a child can. But then, in a gesture so kind and unexpected, it takes my breath away. He reaches for my hand. "You miss him, don't you?" he says. "I do," I say. And Leo must hear the fervency in my voice, for he gives my hand a quick squeeze. When Gabriel comes back with 3 spades, one for each of us, Leo and I are still standing in the same spot. We don't talk, but there's a peculiar sense of peace between us. Perhaps it is the proximity to this boy, not my boy, but there's an energy and sweetness that brings Bobby back to me. It's laborious and physical, the digging. The ground is too hard for us to make much progress, and Leo soon gives up and sits a yard or so away watching. Gabriel and I dig in silence for a while. Then I say, "I hear your mother is living in Australia now." He glances up at me. A mere 10,000 miles between us. Turns out there is a God after all. Of course there's a God, Dad, Leo says. Why would you think there wasn't? Just a figure of speech. I'm joking. Dad doesn't like my granny much, Leo says, in a confiding tone. I can't think why. I had forgotten Gabriel's laugh, how he gives himself over to it until it becomes infectious. And I can't help laughing too, in spite of myself. Or rather, in spite of the way I feel about his mother. Beth had a son, Dad, Leo says, but he died. She's still so sad. The laughter dies on both of us, instantly. Oh, I know, Gabriel says, looking everywhere but at me. I wanted to write and then I wasn't sure. I didn't know if you... It's fine, I say, really. I find myself in this situation often, managing other people's awkwardness around my grief, my loss. But talking to Gabriel about Bobby, a child he never knew, will hurt me in a very specific way. It isn't fine. I should have written, I thought about you so much, but... Gabriel? Yes? Stop. Please. All right. But can I say something? So long as it's not an apology. I hate that. My voice is harsher than I'd intended, but the endless sorries get you down. The soft, sad eyes, the reverent tones. It makes me want to scream. Is there any way you and I could be friends? He sticks his hand out in a gesture that reminds me of our beginning. I think, looking at Gabriel's anxious face, how much I like him. I always did, in spite of everything. I reach across the grave for his hand. Friends, I say. Before, Gabriel is waiting at the end of his drive, but looking the wrong way, as if he has forgotten the direction I'm coming from. It gives me a second to regard him. He is dressed in dark clothes tonight, a navy sweater, grey trousers, and from 20 yards away, his silhouette is long and lean. I cannot see his face, but I absorb everything else. His tallness, his slightness, the way he keeps running one hand through his hair, the other stuffed into his trouser pocket. I'm missing the tweet already, I call, and he spins around. Instantly we are grinning at each other, wide, foolish grins. Does this mean he feels the same? The past week has been almost unbearable, my head filled only with Gabriel, replaying every conversation I could remember, wondering if I'd imagined the feeling of connection. You look quite different in your own clothes. By which I mean, he is beautiful, almost shockingly so. We are standing a few inches apart, and I have an irrepressible urge to kiss him. Just for a second. To see how it would feel. See what he would do. Instead, I turn away. I have the sense Gabriel can read every thought that flits through my mind. I wasn't sure you'd come, he says. There was no danger of that. I'm rewarded with his slow smile as he takes in what I've said. Gabriel has made a pathway down to the lake with a dozen candles burning in jam jars. In front of the lake is a little card table draped in white linen and laid with wine glasses, silver knives and forks, a jug of pale pink roses at its centre. There are 2 folding wooden chairs with cushions on them and blankets draped across their backs in case it gets cold, which is unlikely because, a few yards away, a fire has been lit in a low cast iron bowl. The moon has begun its slow rise, turning everything around us silver white. The willow trees, the surface of the lake, even the grass glimmers as if it's made of crystal. It is the most romantic thing I've ever seen. A stage set made for 2. This is wonderful. You've taken so much trouble. Told you, way too much time on my hands. Unfortunately, my mother caught me at it, so now she's all agog wanting information. Don't worry, I made her promise she wouldn't come down here. I wouldn't mind meeting your mother, I say, and Gabriel laughs. I'll remind you of that when you've actually met her. He pours us each a glass of wine. There is a cooked chicken and potato salad, tomatoes and lettuce from the greenhouse, a little jam jar with ready mix vinaigrette. And there is Gabriel, untying the paisley scarf looped around his neck before he smiles at me and raises his glass. To trespassers, he says, and we clink. It's strange, the patchwork stories we tell someone when we want them to catch up, a shortcut to knowing us, as if such a thing were possible. I tell Gabriel my family are Irish, or at least my father is, even though he was born in London and his family moved to Shaftesbury when he was 8. He has never lived in Ireland and has no trace of an accent, but he pines for it all the same. He once told me he felt all wrong in England, as if he'd been displaced from his natural habitat. I asked him how that could be when he's scarcely set foot on Irish soil. He said it was just a feeling he had, that it must be his genetic inheritance, and it was driven into his bones, whether he liked it or not. All he knew was that in Ireland, the pieces would suddenly fall into place. My mother is a Dorset girl, born and bred, just like me. She met my father at 16 and has been with him ever since. They went to the same teacher training college and married straight after graduation, both their daughters born before they were 25. They adore each other with simple, unfaltering devotion, and I sometimes think it has left Eleanor and me with unattainable romantic expectations. How can we ever hope to follow that? We touch on religion. Catholicism for me, another inheritance from my father, schooling via nuns from the age of 5. What are they like, your nuns? A few of them are all right. Some of them can be pretty unpleasant, particularly the headmistress. She has her favourites and, unfortunately, I'm not one of them. Thank God I have only one more year to endure before freedom. Gabriel is going up to Oxford to study at Balliol College, where his father and grandfather went before him. He thinks he will have the same rooms his father had, overlooking the quad. Would they have taken you even if you were thick? Probably. The master is a contemporary of my father's. They are still good friends. Gabriel laughs, perhaps expecting I will. I look down at my plate, willing myself to say nothing, while my indignation burns. It's so easy for someone like Gabriel, with his future mapped out from birth. I know you're thinking it's unfair, but you could go to Oxford if you wanted to, Beth. There are quite a few colleges that admit women these days. You could apply to St. Anne's. It only became a college recently, and it's pretty radical by Oxford standards. No one at my school has ever gone to Oxford or Cambridge. Very few make it to university at all. The ones who do stay on for sixth form often seem to view it as a waste of time, just waiting for the starting pistol to release them into a life of child rearing and domesticity, as if these things are the holy grail. You love literature, Gabriel persists, when I say nothing. At Oxford, you'll get the best teaching in the world. You can't imagine what the libraries are like. Beautiful buildings filled with first editions. They have handwritten manuscripts of Gerard Manley Hopkins and Shelley. Think of all the writers that went there before you. You'd be walking the same streets as Oscar Wilde and T.S. Eliot. Any women? If it matters to you, I will find some. We move our chairs beside the fire as the evening begins to cool. Gabriel feeds it with more logs, stirring up the embers with a poker and blowing on the flames until they shoot into the air. The stars seem to blaze more brightly here than they do in our back garden. Same stars, set like jewels into a navy sky. It's getting late, I say. I'll have to go home soon. Stay 5 more minutes. 10. This evening has gone too fast. Something changes in the atmosphere. The look on Gabriel's face makes my heart begin to race. He leans forward in his chair and presses his mouth to mine. A kiss that is tentative and gentle. I've wanted to kiss you all evening. What took you so long? Gabriel laughs, and I love the way it animates him. Most of the time I get the feeling he's observing, but when he laughs, his guard comes down. I was nervous, I suppose. Wasn't sure if you felt the same. Gabriel takes hold of my hand and pulls me onto his lap. We kiss again, and this time it is everything. His tongue searching mine, hesitantly, then more confidently. We clamp ourselves together, kiss deeply, our fingers entwining. I didn't know a kiss could be like this, that you could lose yourself in it, no thoughts in your head, your whole body alight to the touch and taste of another. Gabriel walks me home from Meadowlands on the outskirts of the village to our cottage, right in its heart. Outside our gate, we kiss again, a chaste goodbye on the cheek in case my parents are watching from the upstairs window. Is it too soon to say I already like you more than anyone I've ever met? Gabriel says. I can't stop smiling as I walk up the path. At the sound of my key in the front door, my father comes bustling out of the kitchen. He's clearly been waiting up for me. Look at that face, he says when he sees me. Goodness me, I think my baby might be in love. Dad, I protest, laughing, "Stop." But I float up the stairs to bed, holding the thrill of his words to me. Perhaps that's what it is. This feeling never experienced before. Elation, excitement, a furious kind of happiness. Perhaps this is love. 1968. Frank has left me a note telling me to come to the pub. I put the kettle on to boil and make myself a cup of tea, but I don't drink it. I'm listless and pacing, churned up with feelings I won't allow to become thoughts. It's the boy mostly, the grip of his hand. I'd forgotten how young children, much like animals, can sense your pain without being afraid of it. Frank and I dance around each other's sadness. Any couple who has lost a child will tell you the same. You see it in the other. Of course you do, but it's like you're on a seesaw of grief, and all you want is to avoid tipping the other one down. Sometimes when I'm like this, I'll give in to it. Sit still and think of Bobby, everything I miss about him, the boy he was. Other times, I get up, as I do now, find my coat, and head out. I need the distraction of others, the softening that only alcohol and conversation can bring. The compass is in, thatched, dark and rickety, with uneven slate floors and shadowy corners, is where the village convenes of a Friday. There's a knackered piano which is always in use at closing time, most often by the people who can neither sing nor play. The pub decor, if such a word can be applied, veers toward grim, with fearsome-looking farming equipment displayed on its walls. A rusting scythe from the 18th century, an antique plough, even a gamekeeper's man-trap. The beer is regularly off, the crisps always run out, the floor is sticky with cider. There is no better place on earth. Frank and Jimmy are sitting at the bar, half-drunk pints in front of them. I tap Frank from behind and he grins broadly as he turns to me, as if seeing me is the best thing ever. One time, after my sister Eleanor had overheard me talking to Frank on the phone, she said, "You don't sound married when you talk to Frank. You sound like you've just met. I am lucky, I do know that." Jimmy's girlfriend, Nina, is behind the bar. They have been together since they were 19. She is a glorious-looking girl with her reddish blonde hair, back-combed tonight into an immaculate beehive. She loves to dress up. Nina and I often laugh about the so-called swinging 60s, how there's no sign of it around here. Looking at the pub's regulars, pipe-smoking men wearing corduroys, women in plain sweaters and slacks, you could be forgiven for thinking you'd stepped into a time warp. Not so Nina, who shops in London whenever she can, blowing her wages on the latest craze. I love watching Nina at work. She coasts a perfect line between flirtation and censure. No one messes with her, not even the drunks. Although, to be fair, the drunk she manhandles from the pub most often is Jimmy. "How was the boy?" Frank says, as soon as I am sitting beside him. He was very upset. Probably a bit shocked too at his dog killing our lambs like that. He's grown up in the city, hasn't he? And Wolf? What was he like? I feel him watching me carefully. Frank picked up the pieces when Gabriel and I broke up. He knows, better than anyone, how long it took me to recover, how great the cost. He was nice, I say, smiling at the blandness of the word. Grown up, different. A dad, you know. Once a posh knob, always a posh knob, Jimmy says. As far as I know, Jimmy has never met Gabriel before today, but he dislikes him regardless, out of loyalty to Frank. The bond between the brothers is fierce. When I read of Mice and Men, I felt almost dizzy with recognition, as if Steinbeck had peered into my life. It's insulting of me to compare them to George and Lenny. I'd never say it out loud. There's nothing simple about Jimmy, yet he has an unerring, childlike devotion to Frank, which sometimes feels too much. But mostly, there's a real sweetness to him. He can charm anyone from the church ladies to the local bobby. He's a cap doffer and a door opener, and usually the first to buy a round, even when he can't afford it. Helen is in the pub tonight. She has been my closest friend since school. When Bobby died, the whole village mourned for a week or two. Then they seemed to forget. Or perhaps they didn't want to remind Frank and me of our loss, aiming instead for breezy conversational chat that contained what was left unsaid, like a layer of silt beneath. You could see the anxiety ticking across their faces. What can we talk about? I know, the weather. Helen was different. She came to our house every week without fail for the first year. She let herself in and washed up anything that needed to be washed up, cleaned the kitchen, changed the beds. She didn't speak much. She just let us be while she worked in the background, cooking, tidying, making tea, quietly helping our lives to work better. I have never forgotten it. Helen waits until Frank and Jimmy are talking. Then she says, in a low whisper, "Gabriel's back. What the hell?" And we managed to kill his dog on his first afternoon. We burst out into the kind of laughter reserved only for the most inappropriate of moments, just as we did at school. "Share the joke?" Frank says, turning around. "Nothing interesting," Helen says smoothly. "Did I tell you our spaniel got herself knocked up? One night stand with a lab by the looks of things, the minx, 6 puppies in all. We've one left to find a home for. A boy, very handsome. I'll take him," I say, and Frank laughs in surprise, kisses the side of my face. "Consultation is not something my wife chooses to engage in," he says. "Why not? Be nice to have a pup on the farm." But already an idea is forming. I know full well the healing charms of a puppy, and there is someone who needs that even more than me.